Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is for you. Welcome back to a Division 2 video. We are on the PTS again, showing you the new exotic SMG, the Underboss. Yes, next season with the Climax mission, we will get the Underboss exotic SMG, and it's the exotic dummy gun. Yes, not many people play with that dummy gun, but it is pretty interesting. If we jump over, we have a base damage of 50.6k, an RPM of 900, the mag has 50. We have a 70% headshot damage because I have a 10% extra headshot damage on this build, and we have an optimal range of 19. I have the weapon with damage to target out of cover, but it's kind of all about the talent, and the talent does not show up on the PTS, but the talent Gangland Hit will read: shooting an enemy with this weapon applies a mark. You can only apply one mark at the same time, and shooting another enemy will transfer the mark. More marks can be applied on the same enemy by other agents using this weapon. Maximum amount of the marks can be applied on an enemy is 4. This weapon deals 20% amplification damage to marked enemies. The bonus is increased by 5% for each extra mark on the enemy other than your own. Getting this up to 35% amplified damage when 4 people are shooting the same enemy with then of course the same gun, the Underboss. The only mod on here is 15% critical hit chance, and they did add this with the phase 2, as we couldn't test the Underboss on phase 1, and it also did not have that mod of 15% critical hit chance on there. As we know, the Underboss is an exotic version of the Tommy gun, and the Tommy gun does not come with any mods whatsoever. Most of us will put 15% crit chance on the weapon, plus then those extra 20 rounds. So the overall addition of that 15% critical hit chance as a mod on the Underboss is definitely a good choice. If we look at the damage on a maxed out striker build, we're talking prototype, chest piece, backpack, everything towards crit chances and crit damages with the Hollow Man active. This will give us 1.5 million on the body to 2 million on the head for every crit shot. This is of course on a fully procced build, maxed out striker stacks. We have 30% expertise on the Underboss, plus of course that 10% damage to target out of cover as our third attribute. So how does the gun feel? How does this talent feel? It doesn't feel bad at all. You instantly have your damage, as you only have to shoot someone that instantly applies that mark, that instantly gives you that extra 20% amplification damage, what you can't get that fast. The only downfall is that it's still the Tommy gun. It's not the most used SMG out there. Unfortunately, I don't have a Tommy gun or an M1928 to test the damages against the Underboss, for example, putting Killer on there. And then of course testing out what the difference is if we're running around without that 15% crit chance, but with that damage talent Killer on there. The Underboss talent Gangland Hit gives you of course that 20% amplified damage, but the Underboss, aka the Tommy gun, isn't the greatest weapon out there, so we won't see this becoming the new quote-unquote meta SMG. Talking about escalations, for me personally, I'm staying away from escalations with the SMGs. I don't prefer to be in close combat within those 15 meters of the enemies. I'd rather take a little bit more distance. So within escalation, I wouldn't even think about the Underboss or even SMGs. But within the normal game, it does its job. Running and gunning around, even on the build that we put together, we put some survivability on there to push into the faces, still have a decent damage output and a good amount of survivability. We will of course test this build again when the gun comes out, and then of course what will it look like. I already like this look, that wood and just the metal on there as well. But this is the same look as the Tommy gun, so I'm very curious what type of look we will get whenever we done the climax mission of next season and we unlock that Underboss. It's not the most fan favorite gun, but I would love to hear your opinion. That amplified damage instantly kicks in. You only have to shoot somebody, you don't have to take somebody out for it. So this talent will always be active, what is definitely a huge plus. But that's of course my humble opinion. I wanna hear yours. Hit me up in the comments down below and let me know. Are you gonna run around with this Underboss, or will this be another exotic in your stash? Don't forget we're still on the phase 2 of the PTS, so things are still subject to change. But overall, it's not a bad exotic. And that is it for me today. Thank you very much for sticking until the end. Like the video if you liked the video or helped you out in any way or form. If you're new here and or you want to be updated by the Division 2, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And I will see you in the next one. Pure Prime out.